Hello, today I'm going to show you some of the trickier parts of building the knee knock dock. A lot of the movement in this model is down to the figures and their limbs sort of flinging themselves around rather than more controlled mechanisms. So one of the challenges as we work through this is getting all those movements and sound effects, in fact, to synchronise. So at stage 9, you're ready to glue the cams in position. So if we start on this side and put the glue guard in place, bring that spacer up to it, and a bit of glue on the shaft and the spacer, bring the next cam up to it, and a bit of glue on the shaft and the spacer, and again now this time the second cam needs to be in direct opposition to the first. So one is pointing up and the other is pointing down. So once they're in place, you can take the glue guard out of the way and we can see that the shaft is still able to move freely. So we then attend to the other side, just get that out of the way, and again glue guard in place. Move the spacer up to the end. Now, slightly differently to how it's shown in the instructions, we have found that it is best to have both these cams pointing towards the back. So you've got that one up, that one down, this one is pointing out towards me, as is this one. So they are both pointing in the same direction. These are both pointing towards me differently to how they are shown on the instruction booklets, and we find that that makes the timing of the cam follower movements more effective. Now this is stage 13E. Make sure that this piece is on this side of the cams. The 3mm rail is going to go in there. Spacer, cam follower, and other spacer all the way through, and into there. Now the point about this stage is that this spacer needs to be glued up against the cam follower quite snugly, not so tight that this can't move up and down, but we want it to be snug enough so that this doesn't wobble from side to side too much. So I'm just going to put some glue on the outside of the spacer there and on the outside of the rail either side like that, and leave to dry. So at stage 14 we're going to put the second rail on, which comes in from this side with a spacer. Now this piece, part number 22, has a sloping edge there which needs to be facing uppermost. Get that out of the way. And then that spacer. And then this piece is going to go underneath the next cam. And then as you continue to push the rail through, it's going to go underneath the long cam follower there. And into the hole on the other side. And I'm just going to put some glue there to keep that in place, and a blob there and a blob there. At stage 17E, we're just going to glue the ball on the end of this little peg. Now just make sure that the ball is on far enough, but that it's still hitting the base of the model. Now by now your cam should be sufficiently dry on the shaft for you to be able to turn the handle and test that that will indeed hit the base. Now stage 20 is a bit of a fiddle, but here's one way of doing it. So take the little peg and place it ready, just sticking out of the underside of the lid there. Now take part number 9 and pull it up in the gap between the cams in the middle of the shaft there. I'm using my finger here underneath it to hold it still and in place there. Now bring the lid down to it, lining up the holes, and then wiggle the little peg into place. And then once that's in place, we're going to put just a blob of glue on the end of the peg to make sure it stays secure, and glue on the tops of the sides, and then we can lower the lid down into place. So at stage 28, take part number 36 and put glue just in the corners away from the hole. We don't want glue to get into that hole, and that's going to go over that hole. Now take the 120mm peg and just drop it down all the way down, and make sure that it can move freely up and down, and then you'll know that you've got the holes nicely aligned. Once you're sure that's in the right place, you can let it dry. At stage 29, we're putting this leg in position, and this peg here runs in the groove on the back of the leg there. So I'll just put a bit of glue under his toe and at the top of the thigh, and put it in position with the peg emerging from the top of the knee. Now from the bottom, from underneath, just lift the peg and make sure that it can move freely in that hole. So at stage 32, we're putting the body on this figure here in the corner, and it has to go on at a very particular angle. So the best way to achieve this is to mark 2mm from the front corner and 2mm from this back corner, and then put a tiny bit of glue on either side of the body and angle it so you can see the pencil mark at the back, and you can just see the pencil mark at the front, and that should get your angle just right. At stage 35, we're putting the arms on this figure. Part number 44 sits on the top of the peg. It doesn't get glued at this point because this will need to be adjusted in relation to other movements and pieces further along. The instructions suggest that you can put the upper arm on at this point, but it could be better to leave it until page 43 further along, and I would strongly recommend that you do that and leave it off for now. At page 36, we originally made the pegs in the chin here 12mm, and we later found that 16mm made a more reliable function, so don't be too confused by that. Once they're glued in place, just make sure that they run in those holes nice and easily. And also with the top of the head, those little 12mm pegs need to run in the holes nice and smoothly. At stage 41, when we're gluing the chin on the neck, we need to make sure that the glue doesn't go into the hole in the middle. So it just needs to go around the very edge of the aperture, and just do it sparingly. So once it's on there, you can just lift the peg and make sure that it's still moving freely through that hole. And then the head goes on. There's no glue. Make sure that's nice and loose. And then the top of the head just has a little bit of glue in the hole there. Clear off any excess and pop that on the top of the peg. When you get to stage 49, I suggest that you do a dry run first. Put the pieces together without glue. So the T piece goes there in that slot, and the body onto it as well, and the peg in the side. Wiggle it about until it goes in. Now, if you put your finger at the bottom of the T-piece so that it can't come out, and just turn the handle and test that the right leg there is pushing the body back. If there's any resistance to that and you feel you need to adjust it, what you can do is, if you pull this T-piece out, when you come to glue it, I'm just going to put a bit of glue on there and there. Don't push it all the way to the bottom, just leave a millimetre gap at the bottom, and that'll give you just a little bit more lift. And then you can test it again. Alternatively, if you've already glued it in place and you still think there's a bit too much resistance, you can use your sandpaper to sand that slopey bit at the front of the body, and that can ease the movement as well. At stage 53, these two holes need to line up with those two pegs. So I'm going to put a bit of glue in the top hole and wipe away any excess. And the one on the other side, again, a little bit of glue in the top hole. Wipe away the excess. And pop it there. Rest the hands on the stool and leave to dry. So at stage 55, we're putting the chin piece on the patient. So first of all, make sure that the chin fits in there quite comfortably. If it's a little bit tight, then get some sandpaper and just rub either side. So when you're happy with the fitting of that, get the pin all the way through. Now the mouth needs to open by 6 millimeters. So at the moment I've got about 4. So I'm going to take the pin out and I'm going to sand the back edge of the chin. And try it again. And measure it again. And now I have a 6 millimeter opening. So that's all fine. And then when we get to 55G and we're putting his ears on, we want to be sure that this arrangement is nice and loose. So you can push it from side to side or spin it round. If the ears rub against the hair in any way, then just sand them, take the ear off and sand it back a bit, or use the sandpaper to get inside the curve of the hair. Whatever it takes, just to make sure that those ears can turn nice and freely, like that. And when you're sure that that arrangement is all comfortable and loose and in place, you can then put a little blob of glue on either side. So at stage 57 we're going to put the glasses on. Just test them out, just rest them there on his ears, make sure that they're nice and loose and that the arms of the glasses are not pinching the head at all. And then I find the easiest thing to do is to put a blob of blue tack on his nose and rest the glasses down onto the blue tack, and that means they're held in place while you do the gluing without you needing an extra pair of hands. And then the glue goes on the outside. Be very careful not to get any glue on the head itself, because we want those glasses to be able to fly up over his head without sticking to it. So the glue goes on the very outside between the ear and the arms of the glasses. So that'll need quite a long time to harden and dry. So leave it there with the blue tack until you're certain the glue is dried, and then you can remove it. So at stage 59, if you remember, we didn't glue this lower arm in place, so we're going to do that now. So a bit of glue in the hole, wipe away the excess, and on it goes. And then we're going to put his hand on there so that the hammer is just touching the patient's knee. Now I haven't glued the end of the hammer in place yet, so I've just allowed it just in case I needed to make any adjustments to it. But I think that's about right, so I think we can confidently glue that together now. So a bit of glue in the end of the hammer. And some glue on the wrist. And position it. I'm going to bring the arm in a little bit until the hammer is just resting on the patient's knee, which is in the down position as the instructions tell you. I'm just going to hold that still for a second for the glue to set, and I think I can let go. And now the upper arm is going to go on there, but we want it to just float above this lower arm so that it doesn't impede its movement. And a good way to do that is just to put a glue guard there, and that'll give us just enough space. I've put some glue on his shoulder so I can pop that in place, visually line it up with his elbow and leave it there for the glue to dry. Okay, so the final stage is to remove the glue guard, remove the blue tack from the nose, and do a little test. If the arm is not quite hitting the knee, hold the peg at the bottom and then just pull it in a little bit before the glue absolutely hardens, and you can adjust it like that.